Today I'm going to show you how to do something a little bit more relaxing, a little bit simpler. I'm going to show you how to paint a vegetable. The process still would be the same as you would do a person. So I'm going to show you how to do this step by step. If you want to paint with me, you want to watch this video a couple times to understand how the steps connected. In your mind, you already know how this whole process flowed from the beginning to the end. And then you're going to follow the step again, but one step at a time. You need to pause at the end of the step and then do it on your own. And then come back to play the following step. Watch it, and then pause it, and then do it again, and so on. So let's start it. And I'm going to use a very light color. You can use graphite pencil for this step. And you don't have to draw in very detail. So let's see. I'm trying to use my finger and try to plan on. Okay, this is the main part of the vegetable. And I'm also going to include the cast shadow. So you can use the graphite pencil to draw those shapes in place. So at the beginning, on this side, right over here, you may not really see what I draw, but it's very light, little mark over here. I can erase it with water. And now, the other end, and then the and then the cast shadow right over here. So I'm gonna put that the end over here and the cast shadow right over here. Where's the top? Where's the bottom? We don't know yet, but we approximately put it right here. So this will be the top. This could be the bottom. After you've done this step, and you want to do a little measurement, and take a look. Take the long side, and the length is twice as the width. Okay, now this is good. So I'm going to take a look, and this would be the width, half of this. So I'm going to take this part and just do a double check. It's a good habit to check that. Now it's approximately there. It's a little bit too much. So I'm going to get a little yellow color, and I'm going to have it right over here. So this is the bottom, this is the top, which is proportionally to the height. We say the width compared to this height, and so the height is half of the width of this shape. Okay, now this is good. Now we're gonna start working into other proportion. Like say within over here, we can see that the bottom portion is about 1/3 of the whole height. And I'm gonna put this over here. This is 1/3, right? Yeah, cut it coming down like this. Drawing a vegetable, you can make changes. You don't have to do exactly the same proportion, because every vegetable, they look different. Okay, now I'm gonna give a little drawing down over here. Connect the shape. Here you go. Now on the top over here, look at the angle, and this angle coming down a little bit like this. A little bit, so we come down a little bit more right over here. A little curve, and this the head. Okay. Now you use the graphite pencil, or if you're brave enough, just directly use light watercolor to draw. And here you go. Now I already know the location, the planning, and of this vegetable. And now I can see in this area it's a little bit darker. It also have reflected color from the yellow color from over here. And now I'm also going to outline a little bit from this line, divide the, it's almost diagonal, like over here. I can draw a little shape like this, and just like that. And the cast shadow, take a look. The cast shadow right over here. So step by step, and you don't have to draw to a solid line for the cast shadow, and that's about it. Now let's start painting. You can double check, especially when you draw with graphite pencil. You can easily erase it and move it. Maybe move the whole thing a little bit higher, a little bit more to the left, a little bit more to the right. And make sure you light the composition before you start a little bit more. Now, if you're drawing with me, this is the end of the first step. So pause it. And after you finish this step and come back to the video and play again, continue playing. Now it's going to the next step. Now the next step, what I'm going to do, I'm going to set a little color to the main object first before I'm going into the background and the cast shadow. Okay, I'm going to take some yellow color. I'm going to paint the shape of the leaves. Where's that color? Almost like just yellow. I'm going here. I'm going to put a little yellow color here. Focus on the big area. Okay, like this. See as a form, as a simple shape, like this. And the edge over here, I use the middle of the brush and just like a blend it over. So it's over here will be remain a little bit lighter, gradually turn it a little bit darker. And the vegetable leaves also on this side in a similar color. So I'm gonna put the yellow color here too. Maybe a little more yellow. And the yellow color I use is Windsor yellow. It's one of the primary colors. And like this. Now, when you see the vegetable over here, you also should see the three-dimensional, how it turn it over. Okay, and now I'm gonna wash my brush. This will belong to the same step. You want to do that really are connected, and that's why I suggest you to watch the whole process a couple times first so that you won't stop in the middle. Okay, a little yellow color over here, and we're gonna come back. This is a little bit too wet, so now I'm gonna add a little color over here. Just staring at the color, it look like a little bit more light brown color. I'm gonna take this color with a little yellow. This will be a light brown color I need. Maybe a little bit too warm. So get a little blue colors. I see that color has a little bit more blue. So that's why I say a little blue color. Okay, now it's good. Now I'm going to put this color right over here. Okay. If you have trouble mixing color quickly, and that you should look for how to mix color, those tutorial, those video lessons. And here we go. And I reason leave a little gap over here because I'm going to fill in the yellow color. And now I'm going to use this color also going into this area. It's the same color, and also a little bit on the top over here, like that. So I'm going to lift up the color. This is a little bit too dark. So you see, you can come back to change the color. Now I use just the water. I want to soften this. Okay, it's a little bit too dark. If you master the steps, the process, and then you're gonna learn the portrait basics, learn the proportion, and you can paint portrait without problem, because everything's all about the process. Process is the things that making you confused. Oh, now it's good. That's almost dry. It's supposed to be at the bottom here. And now I'm gonna use this round brush. Now I'm gonna start adding the three-dimensional effect. Okay, now I'm gonna mix a little bit more yellow. Squint your eye. It's not light. It's just change the color a little bit. And this It has a little bit darker, has some yellow color. This color darker than the color of the leaves. Okay, coming over here. Squint your eye. You can see the true color and the true value of the color. Okay, how dark is the color? Okay, a little bit more yellow in the mixture. Okay, that. Keep going. And coming here. When you're looking at one area, isolate the area in your mind so you don't get confused with other spaces. Okay. So this color is darker than the leaf down here. And I'm going to leave it like that. And then I come back to add a little bit blue color in the middle over there a little bit later. Now I'm going to also give it a little bit gray color. And so this is considered the third step. Now I come back after you do all this color first, and then you come back over here. Okay, this probably a little bit too dark and also too warm. So keep thinking about the color and think about the color temperature and the color value. And I'm gonna make the color a little bit lighter, coming through over here like this. That's good. Some suggestions. And I add a little yellow color, a little suggestions over here too, like that. This line doesn't need to be connected. I'm going to add a little detail now, a little bit too early for the detail. And we are going to stop here. I'm going to come back to create the three-dimensional first. Okay, what I like to do, looking at this side of the leaf and squint your eye, I can see the whole shape over here. I'm not sure you see the shape. I will show it to you. And get the red color. I'm going to mix a gray color, but a little bit more between the green side. So have a little bit more yellow color, like this. A little bit blue, like this. Watch. Now this is the color. I want you to see this shape, like this. Maybe at the end, I have a little bit more green over here. You can see that. I want you to see this. Do you see the shape over here? Maybe a little leaf over here have the light. I'm going to keep that light. So then cute all the light. Like this. Squint your eye. When you open your eye, everything look light and detailed. And now coming down over here, have a little bit more yellow. Yeah. A little bit more yellow, like this. Maybe also darker. So I'm going to come back here. Now I'm looking down at the bottom here. With the shadow you added to the painting, it immediately feeling three-dimensional. And looking at that, have a little bit more greenish. A little bit more green. So I'm going to just get the blue, get the yellow, and I want to have this color coming through over here. I'm going to leave the light gap, okay, the light shape. I want to leave that okay, over here. And this can connect it. And come to this side. You may not really see this type of vegetable everywhere. So if you want to get this vegetable and do it from observation, you should go to an Asian market or a Chinese supermarket. And you should have this, you should see this vegetable everywhere. Okay, now I'm going to add a little color over here, like that. We're going to practice the lifting off a little bit later to fine tune those shapes. Okay, but overall, you need to create a form that is turning over. So this shape is very important. I'm going to soften a little bit over here, like that. Okay, see a little shape like that. So that's good. I maybe leave a little bit light on the edge over here. Okay. I may also drive your brush with the two fingers, and now I'm gonna probably lift a little bit up, so I have a little bit something a little bit softer. Lifting up has in two different situations: after it dry or when it's still wet. And with the look, it will be different. I'm gonna soften this by lifting up a little color. That keep the gap. It's very important, like this. Okay. Keep a little gap. Lift up a little color. That's the light shape. That's very important. And open up a little bit over here. That. Now I'm gonna come back over here in the middle here. It looks like a little bit gray. Now this is the next step. If you pause it and finish the previous step, you can come back over here. Now mix this color. Now I'm going to come through in the middle over here. That is the look a little bit darker, a little bit more neutral. Now I'm soften that a little bit. Just dry the brush with the two finger. Yeah, it's good. Now soften on both sides. It's very easy. That's good. And now I come back to add a little darker color over here. And I'm gonna just take this color, but has a little bit more blue. So it looks a little bit more like green, that kind of color. So it should be a little bit between blue and yellow. That two color need to be a little bit more. So now I'm gonna just drop this color in here. Make it look a little bit darker. Just dropping in technique. Like that. That's good. Now at the bottom over here, before the cast shadow, I want to take a look at now going to the next step. So if you finish the previous step, let's continue. And this, the bottom over here, I can see a little bit darker. And also over here, a little bit darker with this blue-gray color, like this. That's good. Now I'm going to soften this and have it a little bit connected. Step by step, after you practice this step, you feel much better, and the result come out is much better too. And now I'm going to take this a little light color. I'm going to define a little leaf right over here. Look at the shadow, so you can suggest it. We can come back to the leaf a little bit later. Let's try to cover the good places. Like this is almost dry, so we actually can painting into the whole background first. Why we paint the background? Because the vegetable here, it looks pretty light, right? Right now, the outside white is very overwhelming, the paper white. I'm going to dim down the paper white so that this color would pop up a little more. You can remember how it looked like now. And then in a moment, you can see after you applied a little gray color the outside, I'm just going to mix those color. Maybe just this color should be fine. I'm going to use a lot more water. And you can wet the whole outside before you do this step. Or you can just do one place and keep going. If you use a small brush, it may have trouble because it creates too much of small brush stroke and it look texture. And now I'm gonna come closer now. Here you go. And look carefully and like this. And gonna come out a little bit over here. I'm gonna add that a little vegetable. The leaf come out like this. And keep going. And if you want it to be even darker, so you can do it after this step. because now it's just wet the outside areas, called the wet masking. Okay, now you can see the vegetable look lighter already. So I'm gonna add a little bit blue color, mix it in here. Here we go. Let's continue. Going to the outside. Maybe the front over here can change it a little bit warmer. There's some variation to the background. Okay, now the outside, all the wet, it looks pretty good. Now the vegetable here look a little bit much lighter now. And we're not ready to paint into the cast shadow yet. The color will immediately fade. So we're gonna wait a little bit before we come back. Okay. So this is the step covering the background. Now the next thing I'm gonna do, if you don't want to stop, and I want to start doing a little lifting over here. I'm gonna make this a little bit softer. Sometimes if you look like a little dirty because the wrong color in the wrong place, so you can just lift it up. Okay, make a little bit softer. That's good. Now I'm going to come back to with a little smaller brush. I'm going to see the edge over here. It should look a little bit darker. Even it's yellow, but it's not just a light yellow. It needs to be darker. I'm going to build up a little bit contrast. A little contrast. So when you paint, be confident. And with the confidence, you will have the patience. Okay, now it's a little bit darker because it's considered the shadow side. Like that. Much better. Now I'll come back over here and build up a little bit contrast while we're waiting for the whole painting to dry a little bit. So looking for what's the color. How dark is the color? The color need to be a little bit warm green-gray color, something like this. Yeah, maybe a little bit yellow. Yeah, that is the color. Let's see. I'm gonna come back over here to create a little bit detail. One area at a time and looking at it. And don't worry about the outside, how it's going to change. If something is not the way you want it, you'll find out later. And we're going to make changes. And that's very easy. We have enough technique to make the changes. Yeah, okay. The leaf coming like this. And we're just painting a little darker area. Okay. Watercolor is translucent. So that means whatever color you put on the top, like you're putting a little lighter color now, it won't make the area look lighter. It just make the area darker from there. Okay, so it's different from other painting medium. Like if you paint the light color on the top because it's opaque, you make the area look lighter. But in this case, whatever the color put on the top is like a simple math. And even you add a 1 to a 3, it's not become 1, but become 4. Just keep adding up. Okay, now I have some suggestions over here. And I'm going to make it a little bit darker. So I'm going to add a little blue into with the red. Okay. Probably only here, but I don't want to make the vegetable look very, very dark. Okay. Just a little bit, dropping a little bit, and just a little area. Keep that light as the vegetable as a shape. Now we come back over here, have a little bit lighter yellow, gray color, like have a little more yellow. Now I'm gonna also add a little light detail on the leaf over here. Look before you analyze it and create a shape and something like that. That's good. A lot of suggestions at a time. And if you see that something, oh, it's not the way I want it, and don't worry, we can come back to have the lifting. And let's come to the other side. There we go. Okay, that is a shape a little bit lighter. So I'm gonna actually shade the surrounding, make it a little bit darker so that it make that light shape pop a little more. But that doesn't need to be too dark. That's fine. Okay, here you go. Looking for the shape and looking for the whole big form. Okay, you don't want to make the shape. You have the small shape, but you break the big form because the whole thing over here is turning like a rounded objects. And I can see that over here can be a little bit darker because that need to turn a little bit more. Okay, the big shape is more important than the small area. Small area support the big shape. Like that. Okay, I'm going to give a little bit yellow. I think the outside already dry. Give a little yellow over here because I think the contrast between here and there is a little bit too great. And over a little yellow over here. Now with this color over here and serve as a step between two colors, it actually a little bit softer. Okay, so now is the time to work into the cast shadow. What I want to do, I'm going to use this round brush. As you can, I'm going to start from a little bit lighter first. Okay, I'm going to take this color. Look like a very neutral. It has the blue, have the red, have the yellow, and it's very simple. Maybe a little bit red. Okay, here we go. Now this color, I'm going to start over here. Here we go. We're going to soften the edge a little bit later. Start from the lighter value. Looking for the shape. Looking for that. And this is also another chance for you to actually add the color and create new shapes of the vegetable. Like this. Maybe this a little bit more rounded, like that. Okay, keep going. We're gonna mix the new color. This color looks like a little bit more yellow. So I'm gonna add these three colors together. And have a little bit more yellow color. Here we go. Like this. This has a little bit more yellow in the mix, but the whole color is darker. Here we go. That. and the color would merge together because wet into wet. It's okay, let them merge together first, and we're going to come back to see how we can fix it if it's not the way we want. Now as we're moving forward, I need to get even more yellow. So as you see now, it looks like a simple object, simpler than a portrait. But the process, the challenge is very much the same. Okay, now keep going over here. Shape. And where is it? The end right over here. Like that. Okay, so the color looks great. Now I'm going to let this dry a little bit. Don't come back to it immediately. What I want to do now, I'm going to do a little lifting. I use this round end, the shape of the round, but it's a flat brush. You can see is the materials is a synthetic here. Okay, now I'm going to do a little organization with using lifting up. Can suggest it something should belong together. I'm using this, and also right over here, get a little bit more water so you can start lifting. I have a page called materials. You just go to enjoyingart.com. It's right in this name. Type enjoyingart.com. You're gonna come to the main page of the Enjoying Art website. At the bottom of the homepage, it has a link. It's called Tools and Materials. So you can access to the material and the link to the materials for you to learn more from those websites. Okay, now I reorganize, like over here, reorganize, make a little bit lighter here. So the lifting technique is very important. If you finish the previous step, now you're welcome to the fun of lifting. Let's take a look over here. I'm gonna do a little bit small lifting. See that? Lift that, make that look more interesting. Lift a little bit, but this is in the shadow. You don't want to lift it too light. Lifting a little bit. Okay. The things in the shadow, keep it belong to the shadow. It's important. And a little lifting, connect that over. That's called organization. After you seeing this, after you done this step, everything looks a little bit more comfortable to you. Okay, just a little bit lighter right over here. That's good. But you don't want to lift too much though. If you lift too much, the painting looks dry because now you remove the color, exposes just the paper color, and actually the paper would already affect it and look a little bit light. Look a little bit like if the paper cannot support you, even have the hairy, and there will be even more trouble. So you see how much your paper can allow you to. Okay, I think this is good, the lifting part. And after we come back to it, we can add a little bit more detail to the vegetable. But at this point, the vegetable looks pretty good. And now add a little sharper suggestion, sharper shape, like that, a little bit yellow. Now is the time you can add a little bit smaller shape, like that, showing the anatomy of the vegetable. Maybe a little bit more yellow up here, much brighter, right over here like this. So now you see, after taking care of the big connection, I always say that. Now you come back to take a look at the little detail, and those are very relaxing and simple thing. And in fact, the whole painting process should be relaxing, right? It's not much about you have to be overload yourself in certain step. Always start easy, end easy. I'm gonna add a little shape. Okay, and the edge over here can be a little bit darker, a little bit shadow. Like that. And I think I'm gonna add even a little bit darker. Was worried that's too dark. A little bit darker over here. It's good. I can add some darker top. Okay, a little bit darker over here too. Okay, a little bit. I think it looks good. Don't want to add too much. Like that. And a little bit lighter shape. I want the brush stroke, the brush mark a little bit sharper. Like over here. A little bit over here. Okay. Now let's see. Here need a little bit more yellow color. Now in the painting process, you want to also focus some to see how you bring your personal feeling into the artwork, into the process. Okay. I want this look a little bit brighter instead of look all gray. So when I'm gonna come back here to use this bigger round brush. I'm gonna soften this area. I want that to be a little bit connected. Squint your eye if you can. And also on the top over here should have a little bit more orangeness color. So in that case, I already have enough yellow over here. I just put the red color in here. So I'm going to spread the red color. Here you go. This area could have a little bit more red color. And I'm going to add a little bit blue color. And even a little bit more blue. A little bit blue color over here. So to enforce that idea of toning. Okay, like that. Now the little yellow color looks really great. That is reflected from the leaf underneath. That's good. Right, that's good. I'm going to do one more round for the outside. I think the color a little bit too great. I want to have a little bit blue colors on the outside over here. You always can come back to do a little bit adjusting. And also I want to be a little bit darker. I'm going to see how it would come out. Like that. And now this area would pop a little more because the contrast. But at the front, I don't have to keep the same colors. So just gradually tone it down and dilute it, and then I'm going to light up a little bit more on the edge over here, create a little bit more contrast between the leaf and the main part of the vegetable. Some good adjustment. And over here, this side, look at this form, this side a little bit darker. Just use the water to make this side a little bit darker than the other side. Looking for. When you are building up the details, you have to remember, you don't want to make the detail break out from the shape, but a bigger shape. If that happened, you want to using lifting off and tone it down a little bit, and maybe even remove it. Okay, now over here I'm gonna make this a little bit more darker. Yeah, I'm making sure this belongs to the same shape, and have a little bit yellow color again. I'm gonna make this a little bit brighter. Okay, like this. This painting is finished.